All right, so we are here for our weekly Beyond the Basics training, and because we seem to be, some people are having technical difficulty, not sure why, I am going to go ahead and live stream this. There's Susan, hello. All right, so we're going to go ahead and live stream so that people who are having trouble can get in and yeah. Now I'm just got to find my slides. And let's go. All right. Slides are not cooperating either. I love technology. Okay, here we go. So today we're talking about pain and essential oils. No, we don't want to send a link. We just want to, there we go. Tonight we're talking about pain and essential oils. And every week we gather on Thursday nights for a little additional continuing education for our doTERRA customers. So if that is not you, then you're just in for a little bonus in this group tonight so that we can do this because the link is not working for everyone. So welcome to Essential Oils and Pain. And the thing I want to start out saying about this is that we don't need to live in pain. We don't need to live in discomfort, and we don't need to live at less than an optimal level. And I love this work because if we can improve someone's quality of life, if we can give them a more natural option and sometimes a more effective option, then that's what we're looking to do. So the point of this class this evening is to share that with you. And I'm excited to dive in because this is something that is kind of close to my heart because I've had a lot of chronic pain over the years. So let's get to the next slide. There we go. Oop. We got a lot of slides. We're jumping right ahead. So the first thing that I want you to think about is how high is the level of your pain. So chronic pain would be something that is like a daily part of your life. It could be, maybe something from an old injury. And think about on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your own pain, what you go through on a daily basis with chronic pain? And it would be something like that you just can't get rid of. It's part of your daily life. Something like low back pain might be a very common answer. So I want you to rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being, yes, I have chronic pain that's really pretty severe. It's unbearable. Maybe you're on painkillers or something like that. And a 1 would be, I have no chronic pain. Then I want you to think about emotional pain. And on a scale of 1 to 10, again, to take a moment to rate that. How heavy are the emotions that you feel? We've all been through hard things in life. It's part of life. There's trauma, there's grief, there's loss. This year, there's been an increase in that for a lot of people. So think about that. All of those things actually are physical as well. So if you haven't really thought about the connection between your physical pain and your emotional pain, just think about when you are having emotion like you're sad, really sad, you cry. There's a physical response. Your physical response is tears. When you're in fear, right, you're tensing your body. There's a physical manifestation of that. So sometimes when you have a ton of anger, for example, it can actually affect your liver. And then there's different parts of our body that get affected by emotional pain, and that turns into physical pain and physical disease as well. So on an emotional level, 1 would be I'm pretty happy most of the time, and 10 would be I really feel great depression. It's very unbearable right now. I feel like I've lost a lot. So that would be a 10. And then occasional pain would be I have good days and bad days. Occasional pain would be like today I have a lot of neck tension or head tension. Maybe you had a really intense workout yesterday, and so you have particular occasional pain. So I'm going to just have you think about that and rate that 1 to 10 again. So it gives you a good idea because when we share some products, we talk about some products today, it'll help you figure out what's most suitable for you and your situation. So you might want to have a pen and paper handy so that if you want to add something on your wish list, you can jot it down. So my own personal pain situations, I have had a lot of accidents and injuries in my lifetime. I was a gymnast when I was younger and had a lot of, falls. And then as a cheerleader, particularly a college cheerleader, flying through the air, I was a flyer and I landed on my head and my back a lot. So I had a lot of pain. And by the time I was out of college and working in my first job, so I was maybe in the years that I was like 22, 23, 24, I was in tremendous pain all the time. I could not even stand to just be in my own body. And it was a chore or an uncomfortable situation to sit in my chair at my desk at work. And I had, your basic corporate job, and I had to sit at a desk. And so that was really a problem for me. All right, so whoops, I don't know why it goes so fast and then so slow. Let's see. All right. There we go. Oh, it goes so fast. Watch that mouse, it's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna do a little quick evaluation about what body systems need the most support. So I don't know if you've ever gone to a chiropractor or even sometimes a traditional doctor. They will maybe circle the area of your body that needs the most support. So is it low back or is it shoulders, or is it head, or is it your knees? Maybe something from an old injury. Whatever part of the body is suffering, or is it emotions, or is it the whole thing? So think about that. So when we're talking about, anything with using natural solutions, we always want to get to the root of the problem. Well, we don't like to look at putting a Band-Aid on something. So if we just take a pain pill, for example, we're masking a symptom, right? And that's what I was doing. I was taking Advil every day. It was really by the time I was introduced to essential oils about 5 years ago, I was taking a lot of Advil, and it's like putting a Band-Aid on the actual situation. It wasn't really helping me. And that's really our healthcare model today. So especially in the United States, if you have XYZ, then take this pill. Or if you have ABC, then take that pill. So it's like we just want to stick a Band-Aid on it. But what we want to encourage you to do is dig deep down into, where the root cause of this. And it may be starting with diet and exercise. That's the foundation of everything, right? Or why are you feeling chronic pain? It could be because you might have a dietary intolerance, for example, to dairy. And looking at things like what happens if you cut that out of your diet, and what kind of response do you have from that? So, it can be going back to the root problem, but just know that whatever you're experiencing, you don't have to live like that. When I was in my early 20s and I was feeling all those, aches and pains that I had from different injuries, and I couldn't sit in my chair at work, I went to a number of doctors. I had a bone scan, I went to orthopedists, sports specialists, all kinds of people. And what I was told at the end of the day was that you're just going to have to live with it. And I remember coming home almost in tears saying, I'm 23 years old. I'm going to have to live like this the rest of my life. So I kind of, call BS on that. There almost always are solutions, right? So that's really important to know that there's always something that you can do to dig deeper into the source of your pain. All right, here we go. There we go. Oh, I love it. So first we're going to highlight lifelong vitality, and that's what you see abbreviated up there. How does LLV, lifelong vitality, support you? Now, we go back to lifelong vitality all the time, and if you have taken any of the classes so far, you know that we've always mentioned it because it supports different body functions and different levels of pain. So it supports chronic pain because it provides a healthy response to oxidative stress, and it helps with your bone health if you've got joint pain, because It has things like calcium, magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, and those are not only great for your bone health, but it's great for your immune system, especially zinc and vitamin D right now. So if you've been paying attention, those are two things you want to keep your immune system strong. And it supports healthy joint function. And why is that important? Well, a lot of it really boils down to inflammation in the body. So how does that affect emotional pain? Well, it helps because it supports our mental clarity and our brain function. In the LLV, we have the omega-3 fatty acids for your gut and cognitive support, which is very important. And so basically, if you're not that familiar with omega-3s, most of our brain, about 80% of it, is made up of essential fatty acids. And if we're not actually feeding our body essential fatty acids, which comes to us in the form of our omegas, our brain can be starving at times. And we get these in our foods like avocados and nuts and our good oils, things like that. But a lot of times we're not eating enough of that in our diet, so we need to supplement those things. Plus, there's also neurotransmitters in your gut. There's more of them in your gut than in your brain. So when we talk about emotional pain, one of the most important things you can do is eat well, because that's actually going to feed the way your body feels your serotonin levels in your gut and how your emotions feel. And so I think that we think a lot of times emotional pain or even mental illness is coming from the brain, and it actually comes a lot from the gut. In fact, the majority is coming from the gut. So we want to work on the gut, and we work on the diet as well to help ease the pain. Now, obviously, one of the most important things I need to preface here is I highly recommend, when you're in a lot of emotional pain and trauma, that you go to a therapist, a trained professional, trauma therapy. I'm not a therapist, and in no way, shape, or form am I suggesting that people just take lifelong vitality for emotional trauma. You really want to seek professional help there. But know that this can be a support tool. We're talking about tools in our toolbox, basically. And so that is one of my favorite things about LLV. And so when it comes finally to occasional pain here, Lifelong Vitality provides a foundational support of vital minerals and vitamins, and helps us really perform better. So it gives us optimal nutrition and helps us, with recovery for our body and faster recovery. And this is important because sometimes your occasional pain is like, you might just have a kind of a wonky knee when you exercise. And so this has a lot more to do with just protecting your body and keeping yourself active. Maybe you did, your weekend warrior, overdid, CrossFit over the weekend or something like that. Or maybe you just need a little more energy, and Lifelong Vitality is going to be the key to that. All right, so I think I've sold you on Lifelong Vitality enough for today. So I want to talk about just briefly the dangers of prescription pain medication if you're on pain medication right now. Now, when you hear those side effects of all medications, they're pretty lengthy. And I always say I'd rather have the disease sometimes by the end of the list. And there are times, I believe, that traditional medicine and allopathic medicine traditional medicine and alternative medicine can live in the same, in the same realm. And there are times for medications, but we do tend to be a little bit of fast and to prescribe, right, in our healthcare system right now. They're very perhaps overprescribed. So I actually had read recently that pain medication causes more deaths than car accidents. In fact, 37,000 deaths in the US come from prescription pain meds. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they were taking them appropriately. It could be overdosing or other things like that, but it's still an alarming amount. And pain medication is considered very safe, especially by teens, because they're prescribed and they're legal. So that sounds pretty good for a lot of people. So when I say safe, I'm saying kind of like in quotes safe, because we know that they're not necessarily always safe. And I don't know if you've ever been on prescription pain meds that have made you kind of mentally not feel well, or perhaps started to affect your bowels or something like that. That's, you know, not safe in the long run. So you want to make sure that it's, you know, temporary, and be sure that you also look at other possibilities for pain meds. Plus, there are withdrawal symptoms, which are not fun. So definitely something to think about. We know that there's a real opioid crisis in this country, and medication specifically designed for, you know, short-term solutions, and people are using them in long-term ways. So it's just some things to think about in terms of the dangers and also weaning off pain meds. All right, so just an option for pain, and see, we call these our wellness box options, because they're different little combinations that we can use, and depending on what kind of pain we have. So we have a few different types of pain outlined here. Joint pain, for example, we're going to start with the turmeric capsules. And these are just fabulous. They're very unique and sort of state-of-the-art soft gels. They're called dual chamber capsules because they have both the oil and the turmeric powder in them combined. They're phenomenal. So if you have used those, I'd love to hear. You can put it in the comments of the live, or if you do happen to be on the Zoom, you can put it in the chat if you've tried those. I'm curious. With that is the Deep Blue Rub, one of the best things that you can put on your joints, achy fingers, knees, elbows, hips, whatever it might be. I use it for my low back all the time. And that is also another great one for, yeah, that's a great one for joint pain. And I also will just add here, if you have lemongrass, it's another one that's wonderful for joints, and it's very affordable. So maybe you're layering them. So you put on some Deep Blue and some lemongrass to help loosen up those joints. And of course, you also add your lifelong vitality with that. The last thing with joint pain that I just want to mention also is something that you might not always think of with joint pain, and that is Terrazyme, which is a digestive enzyme. And you know, that's another, like I had said, a lot of our pain comes from the gut, a lot of our inflammation. So definitely want to think about that. Let's see, I think we've got a slide for each of these. Whoops, going back. There we go. So that's joint pain that we just talked about. And as you see, it mentions LLV on the top for your nutritional base. All right, next is muscle pain. Again, LLV on top. And we've got, this is maybe if you pull a hamstring, or, you know, you were doing too much yard work, something like that. Again, we're going with turmeric capsules, and it's going to be, you know, essential here. The Copaiba soft gels we've added to this box, which are phenomenal also. And I take those regularly just because I do have a lot of inflammation in my body. And I know this from doctors and tests that I've had. And so I'm taking that regularly to reduce that inflammation. And marjoram, amazing oil to help deeply relax the muscles. And again, we've got the Deep Blue Rub on there. That's really a standard for me, is the Deep Blue Rub. I even just prefer that to the oil, just because of the way I just like to use the cream versus an oil. That's just personal preference. And I, a few years ago, hiked the Camino de Santiago. I hiked a portion of it. I hiked 100 miles of it. And I am prone to severe shin splints, which I did not think about when I went to hike the Camino. So I had the Deep Blue with me, and it was my savior. I did end up in tears some of the days, but I had my Deep Blue to kind of like help me through. Let's talk emotional pain. How do we recover from emotional pain? Again, professionals, get professional help, absolutely key. Lifelong Vitality is once again recommended as a nutritional base because you're putting all those good omegas and nutrients and vitamins and minerals into your digestive system, and that actually affects your neurotransmitters, okay? So in the way that you think and process emotion, the adaptive system, which are those 3 products right there to the left, is wonderful because the Calming Blend capsules increase the GABA in our brains. And then it's a wonderful way if you have some anxious feelings or thoughts to keep your, yourself a little bit calmer. Grabbing your diffuser is the perfect way, and diffusing something like Elevation. I diffuse that one in my kitchen often. Elevation is really uplifting and it can quickly change your mood. And then frankincense, of course, the king of oils, is phenomenal as well. You can diffuse it, or you can put a drop on your thumb and press it onto the roof of your mouth. That's a great way to use your frankincense on a daily basis. So let's talk digestive pain for a moment. A lot of people need more digestive support, and maybe you have food sensitivities or things that you haven't quite narrowed down yet, but you want to, again, start with your Lifelong Vitality. You see a theme here? I'm seeing a theme here. And then the 2 best supplements that you could add on to that would be your Terrazyme, which is your digestive enzyme to help you break up your food, and your PB Assist, which is your probiotic, and we all need a good probiotic. And then when it comes to your oils, you can use Digest Zen, or Tamer, which is the kids version, but adults love it too. And you can just rub that on your stomach. And it's, the kids version is in a roller ball, so it's safe to even hand it to, your kid and have them roll it on. That's why it's just a very more gentle formula, making it safe for kids to apply it to themselves as well. Not like a toddler probably, but we want to, whoops. How do we go back again? There we go again. That's weird. The slides have a mind of their own lately. So what I love about that is it helps to empower kids to, for their own healing. So another great product to check out if you have digestive pain is the peppermint soft gels. And these are coated in a special way so that they go deeper and they don't release until it's deep into the intestinal system. So it's not going to release in your stomach, and that's very important because we want that peppermint, which is an anti-inflammatory, to go into your digestive or your intestinal tract and release through that. And that's going to help bring relief, not only with pain, but to kind of keep things moving. Head tension, woohoo. If you are someone who suffers from head tension, migraines, then it's gonna definitely be different for everyone, but I would start with that Copaiba capsule. That is definitely a great option. And same for migraines. Copaiba, like I said, frankincense, if you're a chronic migraine sufferer, a drop on your thumb again, and right on the roof of your mouth. Just put it on like that soft palate on the roof of your mouth. And you have to kind of reach back a little further to get the soft palate. And you can also take it a couple drops underneath your tongue. And really it's the fastest way to get oils to absorb into your mucous membranes and into your bloodstream, and that will affect how you feel. So frankincense is one of those key oils that you can use for that, and one of the things that you want to do to get on top of it before it gets out of control. Past tense. I know any of my doTERRA colleagues are laughing because past tense is not my favorite oil, and not because it doesn't work. It works wonderfully. It's just not my scent. You just have one of those scents that you just know. For me, it's past tense, but I do have it on hand because it is really helpful for headaches or head tension, migraine pain, and so is eucalyptus, both applied topically. So, and of course, once again, your Lifelong Vitality. That is a great option as well. So I'm going to unshare my screen, stop sharing the screen. Whoops. There we go. And I'm also going to check on the Facebook group to see if we've got, let's see, if we've got any questions in the group. So there are a few, whoops, find the group. Oh, people saying hi. Okay, we got people saying hi, which is awesome. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Stacy. We love that you're joining us tonight. We apologize if you were not able to get on. So anyway, that is some information on pain management. Sorry, we got started a little late, but there are a couple other things that I do want to share with you. First off, since this is our week 8 of our Beyond the Basics series, we have come to the end of our series. But wait, there's more. There's always more. We are going to have a bonus session, which will be September 24th. So we'll be off for 2 weeks. And then we'll have the bonus session, which is going to be on Symphony of the Cells. And if you don't know what Symphony of the Cells is, you will want to tune into this because it is profound and it is another wonderful empowerment healing tool. It's something that you can do. You just follow the directions. There's just a little sheet depending on what kind of issue you're experiencing, and you can apply it on with your family. It's just a really wonderful tool. So we'll be having that hosted by Wayne on September 24th at 7 p.m. and it'll be a 30-minute session, and at 7:30 we will have a basic intro to oils made easy. So if you've been in our continuing ed series, we're going to go back to, you know, the sort of elementary aspects of oils in that class. So in the last 8 weeks, if anyone has come to mind, family member, friend, neighbor, coworker that you feel might benefit from essential oils, you'll want to invite them to that second part of the 24th. So we'll have Symphony of Cells at 7, a basics oil class at 7:30. The other important thing that I want to share with you is that we also have our global connection coming up next week, which is so exciting. We love traveling to Salt Lake City every year for the convention, and unfortunately we're not able to do that this year, but we've got more options to have more people join us. So if you couldn't fly out to Salt Lake City, you can jump on Zoom with us. We will be hosting it. Our team is hosting a Zoom. We are going to kick it off on Wednesday night, and if you're in this series, you will receive the Zoom link. If you're not registered for this series, and you want to join us, message me. So Wednesday night at 8 p.m. we'll gather on Zoom, and we will be live streaming the new product reveal. And we're going to have a little pajama party since it's 8 o'clock our time. I don't know about you, but I'm usually in my pajamas by 8 o'clock. You might not be. We have some late owls in our group. But dress in your most fun, creative PJs, and we're going to be giving a little prize, which I'm very excited about. And we'll be doing that on Wednesday night. It'll be the same Zoom link for the whole week. There are sessions every day. I'm going to give you a quick preview. On Thursday, so on Thursday, the sessions run from 10 to 11:30. Then there's a break, and then 2 to 3:30, Thursday and Friday, and Saturday. And then there is a later evening session on Saturday for those interested in the business building aspect of doTERRA. So those are the time slots. Making sure it's the same exact time on every day. Yes. So we'll keep you posted in this group of what's happening when. It's a full slate of really wonderful information. And I wanted to just also, before I wrap up, I forgot to mention when we were talking about emotional pain, I have 2 great resources if that's something that you want to explore a little bit more. One is called The Body Keeps the Score, and this is by Bessel van der Kolk. The Body Keeps the Score, very famous book, and everything that happens in our life becomes part of our physical body, right? Our biography is our biology, if you ever heard that kind of connection before. And this is going to talk a lot about that. And then also, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. Also great to talk about how our emotions become parts of our physical health. And interestingly, this book was written by Carol Truman back in the early 90s. I think it was published in 91, I believe. And her son, all grown up son, is the creator of the Symphony of the Cells that you're going to be hearing more about on the 24th. So really good resources that I recommend if you want to dive a little deeper on emotional pain, and especially how emotional pain manifests into physical pain ultimately. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm going to stop the recording, but we'll keep the live streaming going for a moment.